How about it, y'all? This is Daniel Nicholson with Nicholson Farms, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about increasing the nutrition for our does a month away from kidding season. But before we get started with the video, please hit that subscribe button. It'd mean a lot to us. We're getting very close to our 1,000 subscriber mark. That's a huge milestone that we've been looking forward to for a long time. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. We're going to be doing a t-shirt giveaway whenever we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, where we'll be giving away a t-shirt, a koozie, and possibly a couple other things. We haven't quite figured it out yet. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. But getting on into the video, we're going to be talking about increasing our nutrition going forward, since we're exactly a month away from our kidding season. And the reasons why we do it, how it's going to benefit us, and how it's going to benefit our does. So there's 2 times a year that I like to feed my does. Typically, I don't really feed grain all year long, unless a goat needs a little extra help. And so those 2 times are, we'll start feeding a month ahead of breeding season. Once we introduce our buck, we'll feed for another month. And then a month ahead of kidding season, and a month after all the kids hit the ground, we're going to continue to feed these does just to help them out a little bit. But by feeding them a month ahead of kidding season, you're doing several things. You're ensuring that goat has proper nutrition to continue to develop that fetus inside of her. She's starting to put on her milk sac, which means she's making colostrum. So you want to make sure she has plenty of nutrients in her body to make good colostrum, finish out growing that fetus, and just to stay in good body condition. Because the last 6 to 4 weeks of pregnancy is the most important, most critical time in the pregnancy for developing a healthy kid, developing your colostrum and all that stuff. So you want to make sure those nannies are going to be good to go. Also, this is a very stressful time for her as she's getting ready to kid, and after she kids, she's going to need all the help she can get. She's going to get drained down. She's going to be really stressed out, and that's a perfect opportunity for something like parasites or coccidia to move in and do some damage to her and possibly drag her down even more and put her life in danger. So that's the main reason we're going to start feeding these does today. We're going to start off with about 3/4 to a pound of feed per head per day, and we'll continue that 1 pound for the next 2 months or until we're done kidding. And this is just going to help those mamas out. So I'll show you the feed that we picked up the other day. It's kind of a unique situation this time. It's going to work out better in our favor, I guess. But I went to the feed mill the other day, and I was actually wanting to record loading all this feed up, making a full video of it. But when I got there, things did not go to plan. They had my feed made all wrong. It's not what I ordered. So I didn't get that. Instead, I've got a ton of feed in bags. And it's the same feed, other than it's got a little bit more molasses in it, which is fine. It's not going to bother me anymore. But me and Maddie had to load all these by hand instead of using the French tractor to unload these sacks we typically use. But I come out cheaper than what I would have if I'd have bought bags. Right now, that feed that I buy is $302 a ton. And I got a ton of feed in bags. And if I would have paid the bag price, it was going to be like $560. So that's a huge difference. $160 is saved by buying in bulk. So since they messed my feed up, I got the bulk price in the bags. But this feed looks really good. It kind of looks a little better than what we normally get in bulk. I've got it, some of the bags poured out in these tubs. But as you can see, that kind of brown golden color is from the molasses. But it's got cornmeal, soybean meal, cracked corn. You got pellets, some cottonseed meal, and all kind of good stuff in there. Once the goats get used to that texture, other than just pellets, it takes them a little while to get used to it. But once they get used to it, they really like it. They'll eat it up. So like I said, we're going to be feeding about 1 pound per head per day. And how I measure that is one of these Bud Light pitchers holds 2 pounds of feed. So basically every goat's going to get a half a Bud Light every afternoon. But I'm just going to put it in the buckets. We'll take it up to the goats and let them consume it. Let me tell you a little bit more about this feed. I get asked all the time what I feed, and this is it. The brand is Carolina Choice. It's just what our local feed mill makes and sells, and it is a 16% beef conditioner blend. And the kind of the analysis on it real quick is the crude protein is 16%, crude fat 3.5%. Crude fiber is 20%. Your calcium maximum is 1%. Phosphorus 0.3, and then after that it's just got some salt and some potassium and some vitamins and stuff like that. But it's a good feed. You save a ton of money. I talk about it all the time. You save a ton of money by buying beef feed for your goats. It doesn't have that goat name on it, so it's going to be cheaper. But I'm going to fill these buckets up. The goats are over on the neighbor's property eating. I'm not going to feed them quite yet. It is super windy. I want to go ahead and knock this out underneath the barn out of the wind. But whenever I put the goats up, I'll bring you back with me, and we're going to take them some feed, and hopefully this wind will die down and we can kind of look at the goats and feed them and see how they like it. But I will catch back up with you in just a second. Went ahead and dumped out the feed while the goats are over here, so hopefully I don't have to fight them at the feed trough. Goats can kind of bully you a little bit around the feed trough. So I did give them a little bit of grain yesterday when I took them back to the pasture, just because they've been kind of stubborn the past couple times coming out of our neighbor's pasture over here. But they see me. Let's see if they remember getting fed yesterday and just take off and run back into the pasture like they're supposed to. But we'll see. Let's see if we can get them going in the right direction at least. Come on! Come on, goats! Come on! They're gonna be a little stubborn. Might have to get behind them. I really need to put a gate right there so I can just easier to let them out. Out here, so I have to get the yard. Let's go. Let's go, girls. Sheep, you getting big, girl. I think they remember getting fed yesterday. It didn't take long for them to find that. They came on up here, pretty much went straight over here to this trough. I gave them a little bit of grain yesterday, like I said, so they probably remember that. But that's gonna be it for these girls for right now. We're still gonna do our pasture rotation up until kidding. We'll try to kid out probably behind the barn first, and in this pasture and a little bit in that pasture back there. So I definitely want to give these pastures a good break before then. But we're increasing their nutrition. Hopefully it's going to help out. It'll be worth it financially. Hopefully have healthier kids, less problems, and healthier mothers with less problems. But I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, and we'll see y'all on the next one.